Dion, Dion.
So as a quick recap for anyone that will watch this afterwards, since I forgot to hit the record button right at the beginning, we're talking mostly about some lead generation strategies at this particular moment. We'll dive into a couple other topics, but I apologize. Go ahead. We are back to recording at this particular point.
Well, Dion, so I'm going to point out this working with your family. Please make sure your 13-year-old son does better than Tanner just did. I'm just messing. I'm totally messing. Usually that's my foobar with the, oh, I forgot to turn this on or do this. So, and Tom, that's not fair. Charles, do you have any tattoos that cost $1.4 million?
No, I don't.
Okay, well then that's not, so let me ask you this. So Charles, who have you talked to at this time? So for those that are just coming on, Charles Williams owns a tattoo parlor. He is new, 2 or 3 weeks into his business. So those of you that are listening and looking for some ink, we're going to give Charles a shout out right now. But so Charles, who have you talked to? Who has been your target market?
Sadly to say, family and friends.
All right. So how long have you done tattoos, sir?
I've been a tattoo artist for like 6 years.
Okay, so this is gonna, and obviously you worked in another shop for a while. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you friends with the person you used to work with?
Yes, I am. But it was in Colorado, not here in Texas.
Okay, so we're looking for new business. So here's some thoughts that go around it. So where was I going with that? Train left the station. So here's what you want to do is, do you have anybody that you have worked with here in the local marketplace?
Yeah, I worked at a place in Georgetown.
Excellent, excellent. So what we want to do is anybody that you've done a piece of artwork for, what you want to do is you want to connect with them. Connect with them. They are your greatest voice, right? Especially being brand new. So obviously that is a niche market, and we want to make sure that you are talking to those that you've done business with, because they will be your greatest referral source. They will be your, hey, who do you know that could use this? Hey, can you do a testimonial for me? Hey, can we get a video of the artwork that you've done? Do you have a portfolio that's already done?
Yeah.
Excellent. So now what you need to do is with that portfolio is you need to get your people that you know. So whether it's on social media, you need to have them shout it to the rafters. They need to be the one driving business towards you.
Okay. Okay.
And then if you have ink, go show it off. Get people to get interested. I'm serious.
Awesome.
I'm serious. When you're an artist and you're creative and you have that on you, most people that like that type of thing are going to notice the work you do. Hey, where'd you get that? Wow, that's really cool. Hey, how did you find it? Hey, guess what? I do this.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
So we want to drive revenue that way. Is that helpful?
Yes, that's very helpful.
Excellent. So what's your first action item?
Do what?
What is your first action item after you get off this call today?
I'm going to connect with former clients.
Love it. Love it. Thank you for carrying on. And then please let us know back. Let us know back next week. Oh yeah, next week, how it went, what transpired, what people were saying. And the most important thing I can tell any business owner at any given time is write it down. Write it down, because if we don't document it, we can't remember what the hell was going on around us.
That's true. That's true.
Mine is CRS. I don't know what your excuse is going to be, but if I don't write it down, mine is just totally gone.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's jump on over. Thank you for playing along. Let's talk about this, the marketing strategies and making sure your son does it right. Dion, I love the fact that you jumped in and you said, I spent some time Monday building a plan for him.
I had to specifically do that. I knew that my son is a lot like me. Sorry, let me turn my phone off. I apologize. He's a lot like me in the sense that if he gets into something and he's neck deep in it, if anything distracts him, he's kind of like a deer in the headlights. He just turns wherever the distraction comes from. So if I give him something to follow, and it makes it really easy for him. I know because it's kind of like I'm planning for myself. So it makes it really nice. And he was very receptive to what we did. I've just noticed over the last week, our communication's gotten better. He's more comfortable reaching out to me and talking with me just about general things, but that's all come through the business, which has been nice.
Interesting. So how are you training him? Let's talk about that.
Sure. So what I really did on Monday, developing the schematic, is I just took a look at my process and what I do. How could I dumb it down just a little bit? I want to make it as easy as I can for him. I don't want to make it really difficult. I don't want him to get into it and get frustrated because he's lost in what he's doing. So I just made it real easy. A, B, C, D. This is where you need to be at this time. This is exactly what you need to be doing. So for instance, the first thing I do, my marketing campaign is geared to restaurants right now. I work with every industry across the board, but in the commercial insurance world, I spent 27 years in the restaurant business. So restaurants come naturally to me. So I've got postcards going out. So what I did is I gave him a list of 10 restaurants in and around the Georgetown, Williamson County area. He went on and found the addresses of the restaurants, the phone numbers, email addresses, and business owners who we're going to be mailing the postcards to. I then taught him, because that's step one, filling out the postcards, getting them ready to go. Step two is our email touch. So he's already got email addresses for everybody. So I've got a couple of templates laid out depending on what industry we're going to, who we're going to be talking to, where they're at in the process. So it makes it very easy for him to pick up and input a template on an email and send it out for me if I needed to go out. The third thing that we do is we do social media touches. So I taught him how to go into my carriers and find the social media accounts that I like to use, that I like to post, and the carriers that I like to post from. I showed him the content that I like to post, and then I gave him the freedom to go in and find email. Dad, this is what I think you should be posting today. One of them was great. One of them was on cyber attacks and cybersecurity, which is fantastic. And then what I do is I'll give him the content. He'll give me the post that he wants to post and the carrier that it's coming from. And then I give him the personalized content. He goes in and posts it for me. So he did my Facebook and my LinkedIn this morning, which was fantastic. What it's really doing is it's giving me an extra 5 to 10 hours a week to be into the field. And he's only working for me for 5 hours, but the time that it took me to do it, between getting on my computer, finding the business owners, shuffling through phone calls when my phone rang, emails, social media, it's all kind of coming at once. So if I can bite off a big chunk and give it to him and say, okay, this is what you're handling for me, it's really taken a huge weight off my shoulders.
I'll bet. So what I hear you saying is you are training him.
Oh yeah. I walk him through the process like I do myself. So the first thing we did with finding business owners, I gave him the 10 restaurants. I showed him how to access just general information on Google, but I also showed him how to use MyEdge, which is a system that we use through the independent network. And what that allows us to do is we can not only track business owners, we can track the LLCs. We see the certain types of policies that they have. So I taught him how to go and use this information. So he's going in and picking out information for me. Dad, you want to talk to these guys? Dad, you want to do this? Which is great.
Okay, so then let me ask you this, Dion. So you've taught him how to do it. Where's the written process?
Oh, so hold on. Do you want me to show you?
Yeah,
I've got it typed up. Hang on. So this is sitting underneath his schedule on my whiteboard. This is his campaign schematic. So
nice.
So he's got Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tuesday, he's emailing business owners from our first week. He's tracking business owners for our second week. And then he's doing my social media posts.
Okay.
On Thursday, he's still tracking business owners for week one. He's doing social media posts. And then Friday, we are sending out postcards. We have follow-up emails that go out on a template. And then, that's just kind of where we're at. Again, we're pushing through week one right now. When we get to the point, and what I'm actually kind of tickled about is I'm going to have him start making phone calls for me, because I hate cold calling. It is not my bag. I did it for 3 years. I don't want to cold call anymore. So I have a couple of scripts for him I think it's going to be great nearing the end of the summer, getting him out of his comfort zone a little bit. And I'm going to sit with him while he makes a couple of cold calls and figures out how to do it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. That way, when he's 18, he can just pick it up and come on and start working with me.
Good for you. So-
Dan, that's
Go ahead,
fantastic. The whole cold calling thing. I know Nafisa can attest to a little bit of that. We had her do a little bit for us here at the firm, and learning on the fly and going through some scripts, naturalizing it, working together on how we continue to make conversations better. So definitely a fun one to go through. And
It'll be good.
if you ever need somebody that's in, from just learning it and kind of what that process looks like, Nafisa has learned a lot across the process and going through that.
It's different. So when someone gives you a script, you memorize it, you internalize it, and then being able to personalize it on the other end. So the direction that the conversation's going, you're really framing it. But then as the client or whoever you're talking to is throwing things your way, you're able to navigate it and still bring it back on track again, which is
love
nice.
it, because now it's duplicatable, right?
Exactly. Wash, rinse, and repeat.
Exactly. Well, nice job. So that's one of the things that we always talk about. There's 4 areas when you build a process. It's, what's the process? Where is it documented, right? Because we want to look at that. Is the process correct? Is the second important question. Number 3 is, will they follow the process? And number 4 is, where is the process? So of those 4 questions, which one of those questions is actually an employee's issue?
Will they follow the process?
Will they follow the process? All 3 of the other process questions are based upon us as drivers. So I applaud you for that. But remember, how do you test and measure that, right?
Nice and slow.
So that's what we want to do. So again, good job on that, but I want to make sure you don't advocate to him. I want you to make sure that you're testing and measuring. I want you to make sure that you're helping him follow the process. And what are you going to do for success how are you celebrating the wins for your son?
Oh, there's so many ways we're celebrating the wins for him. he's taken care of. He's good. Well, besides paying him $15 an hour, which is nice, so he's able to pocket some change. So one of the things my son likes to do is he loves to open Pokemon cards. He's a big Pokemon fanatic. So he really wanted to do a Pokemon channel. That's kind of how this all birthed and came to be. So I bought a video light ring and we're ready to do some videos for him. And I asked him, I said, Pokemon boxes cost about $200. And he goes, they do, Dad. And I said, so let me ask you, after you purchase your first one, because you have about $200 saved. He goes, yes. How are you going to buy the second one? He goes, oh, I don't know. I said, we need to talk about work. And so that conversation just kind of walked us down the pathway to him coming to work for me. We broke it down to how many days and how many hours he needs to work to be able to make that amount of money to buy his Pokemon box every 3 weeks. And that's what we did. And in doing that, again, as just walking the process with him, everything is just kind of popping up. This is where we need to be. This is what we need to be doing. And getting him to follow the process, I wasn't quite sure if he was going to take on, to be perfectly honest with you. As I'm sitting there on Monday and I'm drawing up the schematic, I'm thinking on Tuesday, is he going to get up and be ready to work at 9 a.m.? When I go out into the field and he spends 2 hours here, and I left him alone to do this. And then I came home and we tracked his progress along the way. The 2.5 hours I was out in the field, I was waiting for a phone call. Never came in. Then when I finally got home and I came to look at his progress, he not only got everything done for Tuesday, he'd already started on Thursday. And that was in the 2 hours that I left him alone. I was very pleased. And then my wife came home yesterday while I was out in the field and I got a phone call from her and she goes, he's just in there cranking it out. That a boy. That's what Dad wants to see. I want to see that I've given him responsibility. He's taking that responsibility. He's doing a great job.
Great job. Great job.
Yeah, I'm talking about you. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go on. Sorry, he's peeked his head and he's like, are you talking about me?
Yeah. Hey, little man, get a raise. No, I'm just kidding.
Luca, earmuffs. Get out of here.
Tell your dad you need a raise. That's right.
Yeah.
Well done. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. So let's go back to that lead generation stuff. Guys, I cannot emphasize to you enough. today's society, you got to go back to family and friends again. You want to know why? Because there are people every day inundating them with the same products and services that you have. You must go back to family and friends. Why is that critical?
They could be your best word of mouth.
Exactly. And you know what else? They most likely they have forgotten exactly what you do. Right? You must go back. I cannot stress that enough. Most people have forgotten. I was back in North Iowa a couple of weeks ago. I had a conversation with a client I hadn't talked to till 2018 with the change in programs and what we're doing. And we've had great conversations because he had forgotten and gotten calls from other people. Oh, coaching. God, I knew a coach once. What was his name? Shows you how much of an effect I had on his business. But we were clients for 2 months. That's it, 2 months. We were in and out. But my point is we must go back to our family and friends and those contacts, because everybody today has to the tune of somewhere between 60 and 90,000 marketing flashes, from signs to TV to radio to social media. We must go back and tell them, like, hey, I know it's been a while, we've talked, but hey, I just wanted to reiterate that I do this. And I noticed you were talking about that, or have your needs changed? Doesn't have to be a hard that we do. Oops, sorry, we're having a little issue here with my microphone. There we go. But you can have conversations with those friends and families again about what you do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Old clients, new family and friends. Go back and tell them what you do.
Is at very least, if even if they're not necessarily in the market, by understanding what it is that you do and having the relationship and having the trust, they can refer that much easier. So it's an entry point. And then, thinking about just lead generation, following up, things like that, it goes back to how are we always tying back to what their interest was in the first place. So if somebody even just kind of raised their hand and said, maybe I'm interested in something that you've got, when you're going back to following up with them, how do you tie back to what was that thing that they were very much interested in? And then tying it back to, have their needs changed? Have things changed since then, so that you're always crafting your message back to what's important to them at this point in time.
Love it. Love it. Great addition, Tanner. All right. Any other questions for today? Any other concerns? Anything else we want to talk about?
Can we talk to my boss about a raise? That'd be nice.
Hey, make sure he's on this call next week. We'll have that conversation.
Right, I will do that. Oh, I will do that.
Oh, love it. Awesome. All right, Tanner, take us away for today.
All right. Well, first off, as always, thank you all for jumping in on the call. As always, we do this every Friday at 9 a.m. We're going to continue to do it. We continue to have some new faces every week. I know summertime's a little challenging, but as we continue to grow, this group will continue to grow. So it is truly open. We're not using this format to sell you anything like that. We truly just want to build this community and help you guys take some value and continue to implement in your business. So if you know anyone else that would gain value from some conversations like this, please invite them to come along next week. The week after. You can make this week, you can't make it the week following, but you can make it again the week after that. It's completely fine. It's totally a drop in when you can. We'd love to see your faces as often as we can to continue to help you guys build your businesses and have that community around you. So we know that business ownership can be lonely. Not everybody that you talk to understands the same challenges that many of us will face here on this call. So, that is really what we are building here, and we're so excited to have so many of you on the call here. Yeah, so that's really what I've got. Again, I apologize for not having the start of this recorded. We will put this recording into the private Facebook group that we've created for Thrive to Action, so that we can continue to go back, continue discussions on this. We do that every Friday. So if there's any questions, anything else that you've got, you can always reach out to me. But thank you so much for all joining, and we look forward to seeing many of you back here again next week.